catch passes from any quarterback in the league, regardless of team or situation, who would it be?
I like it, Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a really good.
What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel and you would like to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that bell so you're notified every time I come out with brand new content. And also, leave me a comment. I'll definitely respond to you guys. And one last thing, please like this video. The last few videos, we've been really killing it. So let's try to get this video over 200 likes, y'all. Well, Raider Nation, you guys might have heard Davante Adams appeared in a podcast that featured James Jones and Amber Theo Harris. And their podcast is called 2Gs in a Pod. And, you know, they had Davante Adams as a guest. They asked him right off the bat, you know, who do you want your coach to be? And this was before we had officially made the announcement about Antonio Pierce. And he went out there and said that he absolutely wants Antonio Pierce. That why would we change up a good thing going when it ain't broken? Why would you fix something if it ain't broke? And you know, they even asked him about would he go as far as asking for a trade like his teammate Max Crosby did. And he said he hadn't thought about anything like that just yet. But one big question they asked him that's really been circulating Raider news is that, hey, if you could pick any quarterback in the league, not named Aaron Rodgers, who would you want available or if they were still on a team? He said Kirk Cousins. I couldn't believe that. You know, for him to say Kirk Cousins, that's a direction I wasn't think he was leaning towards. You know, maybe he likes the connection with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. Maybe he likes the fact that he's able to get the ball to his number one wide receiver, because that's the only good thing I could see coming out of Kirk Cousins. You know, this guy is he's a game manager quarterback. He's not a quarterback that you could put the whole game on his shoulders and expect him to go out and win the game. That's not what he does. When it's crunch time, he folds. You know, he's one of the worst quarterbacks in prime time. For the longest point, I think he was 0-9 in primetime games. And I think this year was the first time he went ahead and got a primetime victory. He got an ACL injury this year, guys, which took him out for the whole second half of the season, in which, you know, made the Minnesota Vikings miss the playoffs. He's a veteran. He's been in the league for more than 8 years. You know, if you guys remember, he was drafted in the same draft that RG3 was. And you know what? We all know what happened to RG3. He ended up going down with an injury, and in comes Kirk Cousins, a 4th round pick, and he really blew up. You know, he threw for so many yards, but his teams were always 8-8, 9-8. You know, they could never really get over the hump. Yes, he's taken the Minnesota Vikings and even the Redskins to a playoff appearance here or there, but the guy's never won a big game. You can't tell me he could take us to the Super Bowl and win the big game. You know, I know a lot of Raider fans are going to hear a name like that and they're going to be excited. A big name veteran. But guys, he's going to demand a lot of money. And right now, I wouldn't go after a guy like that. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo is due $28 million this year against the cap. Why are you going to go pay top dollar for another quarterback? And it's going to be a coin flip to know if he's going to be the same quarterback that he was in the past. You know, an ACL injury is a very serious injury. Most players take a year or two to get back up to full speed, and some never do make a full recovery. And with his age, he's on the back nine of his career. And like I said, I just couldn't take a chance on him. I would rather go after a guy in the draft, a guy like Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, or even Drake May. And you know, another interesting question that they asked Davante was, would he be willing to pair up with the rookie quarterback this far along in his career? And his answer was very surprising. You know, he said he didn't love the idea of playing with the quarterback. But as he was watching some college film last year, he was really impressed with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. He even went as far and said that he would have loved CJ Stroud as the quarterback of the Raiders. You know, a name that was tied to the Raiders last year. It was said that Dave Ziegler was willing to move up and get CJ Stroud, but Josh McDaniels wasn't willing to pull the trigger, and he vetoed that trade. You know, so we have possibly seen a CJ Stroud and Davante Adams pair? You know, who knows at this point? But for Davante Adams to say that he was willing to play with the rookie quarterback last year, that speaks volumes, guys. Because, you know, this year, he said he might be willing to play with a quarterback that's a rookie. You know, and one name that intrigued him was Jaden Daniels. He even, you know, brought up the fact that he was in the locker room during that last win of the season. That speaks volumes. Could this Raiders organization be manifesting this and be going after the quarterback of the future in Jaden Daniels? I'm all for it, guys. But as far as this Kirk Cousins situation, I would pass on that. You know, I know it's a sexy, big name. It would attract a lot of fans to Vegas, but we got to hold our horses. Let's not go after an aging quarterback. You know, and I would take Justin Fields over Kirk Cousins. You know, Kirk Cousins is past 30 years old. You know, Justin Fields' best football is still ahead of him. But I'm not going to go into why we should go into Justin Fields. I already came out with that video. You know, like I said, guys, I would pass. I would stay away from Kirk Cousins. I know Davante Adams just suggested that, and I don't think Raider Nation should run with it. I think really we should have our focus on the draft and possibly moving up. I would be willing for the Raiders to bet the house and go get our quarterback of the future. You know, look at the teams that are the best in the league. They all have a top quarterback. Josh Allen, you know, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes. I'm tired of us not being able to compete because we don't have a quarterback. You know, the best teams have the best quarterbacks. You know, some of these teams traded up and got their quarterback. You know, the Chiefs were picking at 27 and they moved up to 10 to get Patrick Mahomes. You know, sometimes it takes a big risk to get a big reward. No risk, no reward. So I want the Raiders to stay away from Kirk Cousins. And like I said all along, guys, I want us to move up in the draft and get our quarterback of the future. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel about Davante Adams saying that, hey, if it was up to him and he could pick his quarterback, it would be Kirk Cousins. I, on the other hand, would pass. You know, if it was up to me, I would take Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. But hey, that's only if you ask me. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel. And until next time, Raider Nation, peace.